Hello, grade 6. All right, today we're going to review perimeter. So we've done perimeter already, but we're now just going to review so that we can get ready for the test. So first thing we have to understand what perimeter is. And when we talk about perimeter, what we're actually talking about is the distance around a two-dimensional shape. So for example, you've drawn a square, or you've drawn a rectangle or an irregular polygon. It's the distance all the way around. It's like the outline. It's the length of the outline of the shape. All right. So when are you going to need perimeter? Whenever you see a question in an exam or a test that talks about somebody has to put around a fence or anything like that, that's almost a signal, a hint to you that they're talking about perimeter. All right, so let's go down and look at perimeter. So here we have irregular shape. So it's not a square, it's not a shape that we know, it's an irregular shape. How are we going to find the perimeter of this irregular shape? So what we know that the perimeter of our irregular shape is the sum of all sides, all the sides, right? So we have to add up the distance all the way around. So we have to start at A, and we said, what is the distance from A? And then B, all the way up to C, to D, and then back to A. So I am going to give you a little hint. I'm going to tell you to do it this way, although for one that is like this, it's easy to do and you don't need to follow this, but it really helps when we're doing more complicated shapes. So we know the perimeter, the perimeter is going to be the sum of all the sides, right? So when we know we have the side AB and we have the side plus the side BC, C to D plus CD, and then we have the side D to A plus DA. Let's see if we have all of them. AB, BC, CD, and DA. And we have that would make it 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and this shape has 4 sides. All right. So we have to make sure we add all of these. All right. What is AB? AB is 5 centimeters. Just there, we put it at the end. We know AB is 5. BC is 1. All right. CD is 2. DA is 4. So when we add all of those up, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So the answer for this would be 12 centimeters. Easy enough. You could have actually just looked at it and added it in your head. 5 and 1 is 6, 6 and 4 is 10, 10 and 2 is 12. You could have easily have added this one. But once it gets a little more complicated, it would be nice to write down the sides. All right, so let's go down and look at another one. Let us look at the perimeter of a rectangle. Now, what you have to pay attention to here, do you notice that we have these little dashes on the shape? We have one stroke here and one stroke quite opposite to it. And that means that the length of this side here is exactly the same as the length here. And the 2 strokes here means that the length of this side is exactly the same as the length of that side over there. So that's what those strokes mean. We learned that from grade 4, but just to remind you. So now, a lot of questions, because they know that they're not going to write out the length of all the sides. But you know that if this one up here is 10 millimeters, then this here is going to automatically be 10. Dash told us it's the same. And if this is 4 millimeters here, then we know that this is going to be 4 millimeters here. So there are 2 ways that we can look at this. We could just add all the sides around, and that would be the perimeter. So we could say 10, I think it's easier to add numbers that are the same. 10 plus 10 is going to give us 20, and 4 plus 4 is going to give us 8. So we know we have 28 millimeters, and we could give the answer. But I want us to see something else, because once we get a little more complicated, we want to do it slightly different. So if we look, we have 2, let us call this side length, and we're going to refer to that as an L. And let us call this side width. And instead of writing out all the width, we're just going to write W. Okay? Now if we look, we have two lengths. One length here and one length there, right? So we really have two groups of L, don't we? Two groups of L. And we're going to add that to two groups of width. You see that? Two groups of, oops, sorry, my mistake. Sorry, let me just erase that. Plus, put the bracket in first. Two groups of width. And we know that that is going to give us what our perimeter is, right? That is going to give us what our perimeter is. So two groups of length is going to be 2 times 10. Two groups of width, 2 times width is 4. Then, and that will be 28. And we always have to remember the unit, 28 millimeters. Okay, no problem there. All right, so let's look at the next one. The next one is the perimeter of a square. All right, now we know that a square has 4 equal sides. But let us say that the question only gave you the diagram but didn't tell you that it was a square. This is how you will know it's a square. All these, you see, all of them have one little dash. So that means all the sides are equal. So if this side is 6 centimeters, this side is 6 centimeters, this is 6 centimeters, and this is also 6 centimeters. All right? So again, we could add 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 6 is 18, 18 plus 6 is 24, and we could have gotten the answer to be 24. But that's quick and easy when the numbers are small. But let us look at another way. If you look at it, we have 4 groups of 6, don't it? Because the square has 4 sides, we have 4 groups of the length, right? Each length of side, 4 groups of L, 4 times L, right? So 4 times 6 is equal to 24. And we have to remember that is 24 centimeters. So we can then say that the formula or the way of finding out the perimeter of a square is 4 times length. Remember that because we're going to use it a little later on. All right? All right, let us look at this one. This is a pentagon. And we know that it is a pentagon because it has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, right? And each side is 11 centimeters. And once we say regular pentagon, if we say regular shape, a regular pentagon or a regular hexagon, regular octagon, we are saying that all the sides are equal. So we know this is 11, this would be 11, and all of them all around is going to be 11 centimeters. All right? How could we do this? We could add 11 5 times, but we know that we have 5 groups of length. Each length have 5 groups of length. So we can just say 5 times L, and we know that L is 11, and 5 times 11 is going to give us 55 centimeters. Nice and easy, don't it? Right. So I want you to, so the perimeter of a regular pentagon is going to be 5 times length. All right? But I want you to think about this for a little bit. What if this wasn't a pentagon? What if it was a hexagon that has 6 sides? It would be 6 times length. And if it was an octagon, it would be 8 times. So this 5 here represents the number of sides. Okay? So let me write something else. So perimeter, you're going to have to remember this. Perimeter of a regular, sorry that my pen is not working so good, my handwriting is not so great. Regular polygon. Oops. Perimeter of a regular polygon is going to be the number of sides, right? Number of sides times the length, right? So in here, the number of sides is 5, so we can do 5 times the length. All right, so let us see how we're going to use that information that we have. So here we have a polygon. It's a regular polygon. And we know that it is a regular polygon. How? Because you notice it has these little things here that's telling us all the sides are equal. And how many sides does this shape have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 sides. So we know that this is a what? This is a regular. Oh, sorry, my spelling is so terrible. A regular octagon. Octagon, okay? How are we going to find the perimeter of this regular octagon? Let us pretend that this octagon, the sides were 4 meters. Huge octagon, 4 meters each side. We know that the formula, as we said up here, is the number of sides times the length. How many sides do we have? We have 8 sides. And we are going to multiply it by the length, which is 4. All right? 8 times 4. All right, 8 times 4. Oops, my pen got a little bit there. 8 times 4 is 32. So we know it's 32 meters is the perimeter. All right, so this is how we find the perimeter. Quite easy. So take a practice. You have some questions in your practice book and in your course book. So practice up before you have the test. All right, bye-bye.